I'm not Mitch Connor, and it's time for part 2 of Fairy Tale Story Time. In part 1, we learned... link in the description. To continue on, he got out of his car and his smartphone showed images of devastated Syria. Not a person in sight. It was about 9 p.m. there, and it was absolutely silent. Suddenly, men's thick voices broke the silence.
"Don't say anything,"
Bilal ordered.
"I don't want anyone to hear or see you. You're my jewel. You're pure, okay? Do you understand?"
Melody said she understood. Wait! Why do you talk about the character you're playing in third person? Anyway, I listened to the conversation. I was able to distinguish the voices of 2 other men. They greeted each other in Arabic, then French, which sounded like their mother tongue. They laughed, congratulating themselves for having slaughtered them.
"Salam alaikum, what's up?" one man asked. "Are you putting in overtime or something?"
Oh my god, another reference to like it's a 9-to-5 job or something.
"I'm on the lookout, brother. Lookout duty. Nothing special. Nothing happening here. This area's all cleared out, you know that."
The dried blood I could see on the concrete was evidence of a recent attack. ISIS's black flags with white insignia floated in the distance. I listened to Bilal talk about a variety of issues, including his impatience for the arrival of his American cargo and chocolate bars. Okay, numerous issues here. One, if he says up here, be quiet, I don't want anyone to see or hear you, how does, you'd think he'd hide his cell phone? So how could she see the ISIS flags and the blood on the concrete? That makes no sense. Though it is interesting, the arrival of his American cargo and chocolate bars. There's so many speculations that could be made as to why that's there. I'm not even going to go into it. But it's just fucking weird, at very least. To go on, the other men were quick to congratulate Bilal. For what? Huh? What are they congratulating him for? The exchange was short, but their way of addressing him suggested he was higher in the ranks than they were. A minute later, he said goodbye to his fellow fighters and spoke into the phone, worried Melody might have hung up.
"Oh, you're still there, and just as beautiful."
I quizzed him about where he was and what he had done.
"You asked too many questions," he said. "Tell me about you. What guided you to Allah's path?"
I was dying for a cigarette. I hadn't had time to invent a history for Melody. I stammered. One of my cousins was Muslim, and I was fascinated by the inner peace that his religion gave him.
"Does he know that you want to come to Al-Sham?"
Bilal assumed that everything had been decided. For him, Melody would soon arrive in Syria. "I'm not sure that I want to go," I said.
"Listen, Melody. Among other things, it's my job to recruit people, and I'm really good at my job. You can trust me. You'll be really well taken care of here. You'll be important. And if you agree to marry me, I'll treat you like a queen."
I logged off Skype. Oh, wait. It's his job to recruit people. We'll see some contradictions to that. I logged off Skype as a kind of survival reflex. Pulling the hijab down to my neck, I turned towards Andre, who looked dumbfounded. We stared at each other. How was I to respond? Andre suggested explaining that Melody didn't want to arrive in Syria alone, if she decided to go at all. Andre held out a cigarette and I took a drag. Bilal was calling again. I disabled the video connection. Bilal could continue his conversation with Melody, but he wouldn't be able to see her. It felt as if his face had invaded every corner of the room, and I didn't want to see it anymore. "My friend Yasmin is Muslim," I said, changing the subject, "and she complains about not being able to practice her religion in Toulouse. I could invite her to come with me, but I'm not sure if she's allowed, since she's a minor."
"Of course she can come."
"She's only 15.
"I fight for Sharia law every day. Here, women are supposed to get married when they turn 14. If Yasmin comes, I could find her a good man."
Wait, pay attention to the she's a minor thing, because we come to passports later. And how does a minor get a passport? Anyway, and not get questioned when they try to travel, Anyway. Yasmin didn't exist, but I wondered how many real Yasmins were being lured at that very moment by men like Bilal. Bilal, I have to hang up. My mom is getting home. I'll be here tomorrow after...
I'll be here tomorrow after the fighting at 7, inshallah. Good night, my baby.
So they stopped fighting at 7. It's a 9 to 7 job, 8 to 7 job, something like that. Daylight to 7, whatever. Going on. I logged off. Andre and I were both surprised at how rapidly everything had unfolded. Every morning that week, I awoke to find several affectionate messages from Bilal, all beginning with my baby. I received more from him than from my boyfriend. Over the next few weeks, Abu Bilal became a full-time job. During the day, I fact-checked his claims at the office. At night, my avatar took over, conversing with him over Skype and coaxing out new information, verifying it by tracking the latest battles online. And here's another composite. Yay. I wasted a lot of time playing along with Bilal's game of seduction in order to gain his trust. By now I had a good sense of the ways he recruited young Muslims, but wanted to know more about how ISIS worked. She describes none of these ways he recruited young Muslims, by the way. Just that he says, I'm great at recruiting. Go on. My cover prevented me from asking direct questions, but I used Melody's fascination with the cause to probe him for details. Sometimes I was so shocked by Bilal's words that I had to disconnect. But as I grew accustomed to these exchanges, that became less necessary. As we spoke more and more, I felt as if Melody became closer to Bilal, who spoke of their marriage. No one could understand the level of stress that this double life demanded. God, it's still funny to me that she's still speaking of Melody as a separate person. Like, oh, it's almost like I got a split personality. To go on. I carried Melody's outfit and phone with me at all times, in case a message came through and I needed to speak to Bilal. I even found myself in a bikini by a swimming pool, talking to Bilal on the phone as Melody, and reassuring him that I was surrounded by women and was covered up. He badgered Melody every day on Skype and Facebook. At one point he was without internet access and sent a tender text message at 6 a.m. every morning.
Have a good day, baby. Think of me. I miss you.
My friends and coworkers started asking if I was getting too involved. Oh, fuck. Sorry. Go on. My boyfriend didn't want to know too much, but when he came home and found me in Melody's garb on Skype to Bilal, I began to feel as if I was having an affair. Milan wanted me to be safe, but he didn't want to know any more details, unless I had to travel, and that suited me. Meanwhile, Melody's list of virtual friends grew. Her recent posts on Facebook calling for humanitarian jihad elicited new friend requests, and private messages. Girls began asking Melody for advice on the safest route to Al-Sham. There were strange questions. Should I bring a lot of sanitary pads, or can I find them there? Will I be able to find thong underwear there? I didn't want to reply, but where I felt girls were planning imminent departure, I discouraged them. Really? Okay, calling for humanitarian jihad, while she's talking with this guy who's like, I'm a badass terrorist. Don't you think he'd think something is up with that, for one? Then sanitary pads, I imagine that means, tampons and maxi pads and stuff. And thong underwear? I would think that would be looked down upon by Islamist culture if it's actually like this, and it's like, are you covering yourself? Come on. Go on. It had been nearly a month. Andre feared that the longer we let Melody exist, the more I was at risk. Until we put an end to this, he said, you're always going to want more information. I agreed with him. Of course, I hated Bilal and everything he stood for. I wanted him out of my life, but it was hard to stop, because I felt the story was so strong. Stockholm Syndrome? I don't know. It's fake anyways. I'd put so much of myself into it that I knew my curiosity had become unhealthy. Together with my editors, I planned the investigation's denouement. I had told Bilal that Yasmin and I would meet him in Syria. He gave me instructions. We should go to Amsterdam and then down to Istanbul, where we would pick up a prepaid phone. Once Melody had made contact with Bilal there, he would send details. I was really going, but a photographer, not Yasmin, would accompany me.
Is that Andre, who's not a woman? Would that not seem suspicious? She gives no details about that, but anyway.
Bilal had told me an older woman was to meet us there. Our photographer would capture her on film. We would continue on to Kilis, a Turkish city near the Syrian border. The story would end there with a photograph of Melody from behind, looking at the border. We were finally wrapping this up, at least that's what I thought. A few days later, I was in a stuffy hotel room in Amsterdam with Charlie, another photographer.
Is Charlie a guy or a girl?
Anyway, a video call from Bilal came in. Salam alaikum, my darling.
Oh, sorry. Salam alaikum, my darling. Are you really in Amsterdam? I can't believe it. You'll be here soon. I'm the happiest man on earth. I love you, my wife.
I'd never seen him look so happy. Bilal was alone in an internet cafe in war-torn Syria. That something about that doesn't sound right. Anyway.
Yes, you're sorry.
Yes, sweetheart. I'm here with Yasmin. We're flying to Istanbul tomorrow, but we have to be careful. It's not safe here. Tell me what to do. As usual, Bilal was only half listening.
You're so pretty, he said. Tell me about your trip. How did you pay for your tickets?
I stole my mom's debit card and bought 2 tickets online. We brought our passports, and here we are. Can we talk about tomorrow? Yasmin is a little stressed out, and she'd feel a lot better if she knew what was going to happen next.
Oh, okay. Let me explain. When you arrive in Istanbul, you need to buy another phone. Throw away the one you get in Amsterdam, and be sure you pay in cash. Not with your mom's card. Otherwise, the cops will be able to trace you.
Okay, she just said she did this stuff with the debit cards. There's no indication she has cash anyway, so why would he assume that? But anyway. Okay, where would the contact be waiting?
Actually, nobody will be there to meet you. You'll need to buy 2 tickets for a flight across the country. Driving would take too long.
What do you mean? Nobody will be there when we arrive? You promised! This wasn't the plan.
I know, but it'll be okay. You're a big girl, aren't you, my wife? Dozens of Europeans make this trip every week. You can do this, my lioness.
But that wasn't the plan, Bilal, I said, my voice frayed with genuine anxiety. We've gone over this many times. You were adamant, as was I, that a woman would come to meet us. You told me we would be safe. How many times have you told me nothing is more important than my safety?
Listen to me, he said, his tone hardening. You're going to shut up for a minute and let me speak. It'll be a snap. When you arrive at the airport in Istanbul, buy 2 one-way tickets for Urfa.
Urfa? Going there was suicide. ISIS was active there. I think you're being unreasonably hard on me, Melody said. All I ask is that you respect what you've been promising me. At the first sign of difficulty, you abandon me. That's just great. Bilal's tone changed. I'd never seen him like this before.
Do you think I'm an idiot? From now on, you're going to shut up. I'm part of a terrorist organization. You can't talk to me like that. Do you know who I am? I command 100 soldiers every day. I haven't even told you a quarter of the truth. I'm wanted internationally. That's why I can't even go to our cities in Turkey. I can only travel to Iraq. I'm 38, and you and your friend can't bring me down. You better tread lightly.
Okay. I'm part of a terrorist organization. Now, if ISIS is actually real in any way, shape, or form, over there in Syria, okay, not with these fucking fake propaganda videos, how many of them do you think would call themselves a terrorist organization? Because, see, if they're actually real, they think that they're benevolent in what they're doing. And this is the biggest proof right here that this is fake as hell. I am part of a terrorist organization. You fucking kidding me? They would not a single person if ISIS is real, in ISIS would say that.